and he covers the man on the ground with it.
还有下来说这个死者是他的朋友，然后他就把自己的衣服脱了，人家说你的话你可以跟我朋友盖上，他就把衣服给他盖上面，人家这死者还穿得清清爽爽的，衣服穿得好好。
She says that the police were called to the complex at 6:02 a.m., but she was not the one to make the call. It appears by most accounts that the security working the building was the one to make the call. But she thought it was weird that the guy just took off his top and covered his friend and said, "That's my friend." Now, there is another audio recorded interview with one of the other alleged neighbors, and there's a chance that these recordings are fake. I don't think that will be true. There's a chance that they're not, and it sounds pretty legitimate from listening to it. We had our Chinese researchers listen to I even played it for my husband too, because I was like, can you tell me if this sounds legitimate?
Yeah.
It sounds legit.
Yeah, I can see it, totally.
So the neighbor states that she's been there pretty much since the police initially show up, and she's telling the person interviewing her, recording, that she was just hanging around to see what was going on, and there was just a ton of police activity. She's getting little bits and bobs and little pieces of information from all the other neighbors who were all standing around trying to investigate. And by this point, she had already found out that Yu Menglong is the one that's deceased. It seems like she either knows Yu Menglong from being from around the area, perhaps it's not his first time visiting, perhaps she knows him personally, or she knows him as a fan. I'm not sure, but she sticks around to make sure that the police are diligent. She's like, just want to make sure that they're trying to figure out what happened to this celebrity. She says early in the morning, the police were very busy. So around 7 a.m., they're going in and out of the building. They're collecting fingerprints. They're very meticulously marking and collecting every little piece of evidence. It feels highly organized. It seems like they're taking this death investigation incredibly seriously.
在里面剪指纹，非常细致的在弄那些指纹。
She says that she felt at ease knowing that they're doing everything that they can to investigate intently, and they're going to get to the bottom of this. Then they go inside the building to the unit that Yu Menglong allegedly fell out of on the 5th floor. And they're likely talking to whoever Yu Menglong was visiting that night, because he doesn't live in this building. And that guy allegedly came down to say, "That's my friend." So they're probably interviewing him, and who else is there? And she says, eventually around 11:30 a.m., police come back down. By this point, news had broken online about Yu Menglong's death. And I'm assuming that everybody at the apartment building just loitering to see what's going on. I'm sure they're also looking online, because that's exactly what you would do. You try to see if any news updates are going on online before they're happening in person. And she says news broke of his passing. A famous paparazzi man, which, side note, he is known to be rather credible. So regardless of how you feel about tabloids and paparazzi, he is known in China to be someone with very solid information. He comes out to post breaking the news that Yu Menglong has passed. The post reads, 11:25 a.m., September 11, 2025. Today, I received news that Yu Menglong, star of Eternal Love and Go Princess Go, fell to his death in Beijing today. A source close to the matter told us that Yu Menglong had dinner with 5 to 6 friends at a friend's house on September 10th. Around 2 a.m. on September 11th, Yu Menglong went to a spare bedroom and locked the door to go to sleep. Around 6 a.m., his friends left the party without seeing him. They went downstairs and discovered his body on the pavement. A neighbor walking their dog saw him and called the police. It is reported that Yu Menglong had 2 Rolex watches in his pocket that belonged to his friends, and the screen mesh covering the window from which Yu Menglong fell out of was opened by Yu Menglong. Police have ruled out a criminal case, but the specific cause of death is still under investigation. This was posted first, before any official studio or police or really anyone releases a statement of Yu Menglong's passing. But the neighbor that's been recorded in that interview, she says when the police came back down from inside the building, she was getting pissed. Because it's 11:30, she just saw the paparazzi man post this. They said, "No criminal activity?" What do you mean? You were just taking fingerprints. Why were you taking fingerprints if there's no criminal activity? So she's thinking to herself, and you just got here. I just saw you. I mean, yeah, you were working hard, but you weren't working that hard. How can you conclude that there's no foul play? She's very upset, so she's not about to leave. She just saw what was posted, and she starts confronting the police. And she's like, "I don't know what y'all are doing, but you guys cannot conclude that there was no foul play within that short span of time." She explains she's kind of freaking out to the police officers, and a nice hat, that's what they call the police in China, hats, because they wear hats. A nice hat pulls her to the side to try and figure out why she won't leave. Are you okay? Is everything okay? And she tells them, the citizens are upset. What do you mean you ruled out foul play? You guys just got here. How can you rule that out in a few hours? We're all very angry about this. These are direct quotes from the interview.
说有一个帽子就非常善良，他就偷偷的把我拉到一边了。我说你们几个小时就定性了，我说我们现在都民愤了。
The nice cop is confused. We never said that we determined what happened. We're still investigating this case. Well, how long is it going to take? We will give the public an answer, but we have to wait. It shouldn't take much longer. All those people, his friends, are they just going to get away with it? So remember that list of over a dozen people that were reportedly at the party that night when Menglong died. She's talking about that list. And it seems like when the neighbors are talking, it seems like they kind of have an idea of what happened that night to some degree. She's saying all the people that he was with, are they going to get investigated? They have been detained. The officer tells her they have been detained. You have no idea how many people we've arrested already. Is it because he's a celebrity that you care so much? No, it's because he's a very kind person. If he had been tortured by an old pervert, we want to fight for justice for him. He deserves justice. Oh, well, he's been arrested as well. So many things are odd about this conversation. First of all, she clearly knows something that we don't know because she's asking, are all these people, are they going to get away with it? Now, many neighbors later report that they heard screaming and fighting all night long leading up to Menglong's death. So some people think that they knew that he was at an event and there was lots of screaming. This is abnormal for their apartment building. There was lots of threats being screamed. Clearly, they wake up the next morning and there is Yu Menglong and he's deceased. It must be connected, so of course you want justice. She later tells another person interviewing her, everyone in the neighborhood knows what happened here, okay? Everyone knows. The sound blocking is very bad in this neighborhood. The units are not that new. They're actually much older. The distance between the buildings is pretty close. If someone screams, everyone can hear. She also indicates other things that she thought was weird. In fact, we don't have a 4th floor. This is her saying it. So a lot of people are reporting that he fell from the 6th floor. The unit in question has a 6 in front of it, so it indicates it's on the 6th floor. But this apartment building, like a lot of buildings in Asia, they don't have a 4th floor because of superstitions. 4 sounds like death. So they don't have a 4th floor. But technically, even though it says 6 on the door, this is the 5th floor. So he fell from the 5th floor, and that's a pretty short distance. She says she stood there watching for a really long time because she's like, how does someone fall from the 5th floor and pass away? Like, how do you even fall from that kind of distance? The window, I mean, maybe it seems low. Maybe he's really tall. The window is not even a balcony. It's like a window that he fell out of. And like there was a net and you'd have to jam through it. Like you really have to push it open to get through. Like, how did he do that? She says, I stood there for a really long time watching because none of it was making any sense. And then she says, another thing that I noticed was I saw a bunch of cops inside the apartment, the unit in question. And I saw that they were moving around a lot. They were reenacting all sorts of motions, as if they're trying to simulate what motion was the most plausible and what could have happened. One motion was one cop standing there looking out the window and another cop kicks him very hard from behind, is like simulating a very hard kick, projecting him out of the window. From what she could tell from downstairs is that looked like the most accurate portrayal of all the different simulations that they've been doing. That looked like the only one that made sense because there's also marks inside and outside the building. The window that he fell from, there's marks on the side. I mean, just all of it. This is the most viable option. He was kicked, so he plummets to his death. That's what she thought until she saw the paparazzi man post that online. Police have ruled out a criminal case, but the specific cause of death is still under investigation. If someone kicks him, causing him to crash out the window to his death, that's a criminal case, no? And it's believable that the paparazzi guy knows what he's talking about because nobody outside this apartment complex, nobody online, not even Menglong's agency or the police have confirmed that Yu Menglong has passed away.